And welcome to Indie Social. This is the podcast where I, Dylan Jaeger,
And Michael Huntington.
interview independent filmmakers. Our guests come to the show to share with you, the audience, how they started in their filmmaking career. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get to learn a little bit more about them on a deeper and more personal level. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Indie Social.
Welcome to the show, Indie Social. I know you'll love our guest today, 'cause what we've got for sure will amaze. So take this time and put your stress aside and come with us. Don't be shy, just take a seat and enjoy the ride. Oh, we are Indie Social, yeah.
Our guest today is a director, writer, and producer, and a dear friend of mine. You've seen his films, The Z Triangle, Don't Move, and he has two in post-production, Brothers and The Z Mind. My dear friend and brother, Aaron Bandy.
Oh,
Hey,
Dylan,
hey.
you're gonna make me emotional just from that intro.
I know he always does these grandiose intros, man. It makes the people feel real good.
Yeah, no, great to be here. I can tell you, like, Dylan, like, I've been wanting to get on this thing for so long. When you first announced this, that you were doing this with Michael a couple months ago, I was like, oh, I gotta get on this
Yeah,
thing.
you were definitely one of the first people we wanted to hit up, man. So
Yeah,
it's
and then
cool that it's finally happening. You're actually going to be one of the last episodes of the year, right?
Oh.
Is Aaron's? Isn't it Aaron's?
Aaron, you're our last guest.
Ooh,
we
our
have
last
a
guest.
couple solo episodes we're gonna do to end season 1.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a big deal.
Well, I'm all right. We gotta make the season finale a good one.
Yeah,
I wish I
yeah.
had those little party streamers, like, and like, confetti flies everywhere.
So to set the scene
Yeah.
right now, we're at my place and we got the lights dimmed and we got the Netflix fire.
And the
on
Christmas
screen. We
tree.
got the
Yeah.
Christmas tree, so we're feeling the spirit. It feels beautiful.
Feels nice and relaxed. I like
Just
it.
a bunch of homies connecting. Yeah, man. So I guess let's just start off with how'd you get your start, man, into filmmaking?
So pretty much like that goes back quite a ways. Like I've always been that guy who's always liked video cameras and all that. And like you can ask my parents, they'll easily tell you. Like when I was a kid, I'd always want the video camera when we went on vacations, and I always wanted to push that big red button and just start recording stuff. And one thing kind of leads to another, and that's just kind of how I've always been. And then we get to high school, and we had to do a video for a science project my freshman year. I don't remember what it was for, but me and my friends Corey and Tyler Penrod, we had a really good time making that. So in our sophomore year, we wanted to make kind of our own first short film, if you want to call it that. It really was anything but. And we did that film, and we thought we were like the coolest people ever. And like, so then we was like, we want to do another video. And what was our next video going to be? Was it going to be a short film? Was it going to be a commercial? We decided we wanted to be a feature length because we were so
Wow.
smart.
Wait, hold on. Would that be Z Triangle?
That was the Z Triangle.
Jeez, man, you hopped right into it.
I know.
I'm still so scared to try to make a feature film, man.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I really hope to one day hopefully inspire young filmmakers, kind of like myself, because like when I did the Z Triangle, that was a huge project. Like not the only other person that I'm currently aware of that's done like a low budget independent film was Caleb Harris with Missouri Trippin' in 2015, I think is when that came out. That's the only, and that was a big inspiration because when he made that film on low budget and went through all the production trouble, it was like, okay, if he can do it, then I can do it. So I really hope I can one day inspire young filmmakers to like, hey, if somebody tells you that you're in over your head with the script and you think it's going to be too hard, don't listen to them, go and do it anyways.
Well, what I love about the Z Triangle is, yes, you can tell it's low budget feature film, but what I love about you personally is you have the most original and unique ideas, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's just that haven't seen it, it's like it's just a zombie movie. It's a zombie movie, but it's not what you're expecting. It's no Walking Dead by any means. It's its own unique film, and it's really hard for me to explain it to people. But and you had this so planned out, and working with you were my first movie audition I've ever had.
Yeah.
I was already pre-cast in a short film, but you were my first real audition, and it was my first time in front of a camera when I worked with you on the Z Triangle. and it was super professional. And I mean, I think you did everything right. The only thing that was like a downfall for the Z Triangle was it was made with like was there even a budget? I mean, I'm sure there was a budget.
I can tell you the budget. It was $323.14.
And it's a fun movie.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you where the extra $20 came from. The fact that our lead actor Kenan, during a fight with the zombies, the liquid that we used for the blood, after a while in the heat, it would get very sticky. So when the zombie actors went to grab him, it ruined his shirt. So being a nice director that I was, I went and bought him a new one. So that's where the extra $20 comes from in the budget. But yeah, like, no, people get very surprised when I say of how low the budget was, because I agree with what you're saying. Like, you can tell Z Triangle is a low indie film, but the fact that I don't know, like, Michael, maybe you know a better way to describe it, but it kind of seems like it's a film where there are a lot of goals and value went into it.
Oh, definitely, man. And I think the thing with you is that there's stuff that I won't even like attempt to do. Like, I remember when we were doing the Z Mind, and I think this part's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything, right? Where the zombie is in the glass window.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, how the hell is he gonna pull this off? Like, I would never even have attempted to try to do that, because, like, I think personally for me, I'm always too scared to try to do something that's out of my comfort zone, especially when it comes to special effects, because I literally know nothing about it. So yeah, man. And I think with the Z Triangle, it was all about that, where, like, you might not have had access to a real plane, but you utilize what you had, man. And I think
it was a real plane,
right? But I mean, like, flying,
Oh,
no, we
yeah.
really flew it. We really flew
Well,
it.
Right.
yeah, it flew for B-roll footage, but yeah, I told the actors, like, you are not getting on that plane. The movie is about a plane crash. Why would I let my lead actors go up in a plane for a joyride?
All about realism, man.
When I first heard that we were going to be filming in a plane, I really thought we were going to be in the air, and I was so excited, man.
Yeah.
When he told me we weren't going to fly it, like, I remember begging you. I was like, come on, dude.
I
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Liability issues at its best.
Yeah. I would imagine that would be a huge liability.
Yeah, no, it would, but yeah, that's another one of the things about Z Triangle is that we had we weren't just in this empty prairie field the entire time. Like, we were at Caleb's house for the house shots. We were at the airport for the plane sequences. And heck, I think we even went to a beach at some point at the very end, and we got stuff there. So there was a whole variation of things. And honestly, like, Z Triangle is definitely a very emotional and big part of my life that, while I wish I had done things differently, like, I definitely regret how I think I was a little bit too devoted to the film, because I missed out on a lot of time spending with family and friends and all that. So I regret that. I wish I had handled that better. But I don't regret making the film, because I do feel like it helped get me to my current point in my life. Like, now I'm working at a TV station full time, and I hope that my boss didn't hire me just because I made a zombie movie, but it just kicked one thing off to another. And by the way, if anybody wants to watch Z Triangle, it's online. So if you have no idea if you have no idea what we're talking about right now, like, we've got.
And then after you finish that, go watch the documentary, which also is on your channel.
Yeah, on my my website, Something Cool Enterprises, got the movie, and it's got the behind the scenes documentaries. Which, honestly, Dylan, I'm not gonna lie, I get very emotional watching part 2, which is covering the actual making of the movie. Like, I see the scenes of everybody just having fun. Like, it's like I remember, I think you talked about this in an earlier podcast, where the first day that we were filming, you were very serious. Like, you were being a method actor and all that. And, like, everybody else was really being, like, Kenan was, like, making jokes and all that. And we were just really having a fun time. I almost felt like you seemed a little bit uncomfortable, because you were trying really hard to be very serious, and everybody else was kind of just messing around.
Well, I was very intimidated.
Especially this being, like, your first.
It was my first time in front of a camera, and going back to, like, my audition, when I saw your audition post, casting call on Facebook, I was, like, super excited. I emailed you. You sent me the script. I absolutely fell in love with the character Brogan, and we set up a time for auditions and stuff. And, like, I really at this point felt like, my life is going in the direction I want it to, because my religion is the law of attraction, and I just started getting really serious about the law of attraction, of manifesting anything I want in my life. And, like, a week later, I saw your casting call. I we set up auditions, and you are the first person that made me feel like I was actually good at being an actor. It was your reaction to my audition, and I think you were like speechless, and you were like, "Oh, damn, you're a good actor." And but you were so sincere though, and then you sent me like that really nice email about me getting the role, and when I read that, I still have that email saved, and
me too.
when I read it, I tear up every single time. You made me feel like my dream was possible, and so going into the day one of filming the Z Triangle, this was it. I'm living my dream. I am going to. I got to be serious. I got to be a serious actor.
Yeah.
I can't, because I did nothing but like stage plays and musicals, and we just joked around all the time and had fun. But I was taking this as like a serious job.
Yeah.
And I knew, being a method actor, I had to be on my A game. So I did not socialize with anybody on set.
Yeah, I think I was like the only, aside from Sam, I think I was the only person you would talk to. Really. So, but I think it was day 3 eventually, like day 1 and day 2, everybody was kind of trying to figure each other out. Cause like I had never met Eric before. That's a little bad to say, because like the first day I met one of my lead actors was on the first day of filming. But like I think it was day 3, everybody was really excited. They're like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna film again. We really like you." And you were still kind of in your serious mode. So I think I remember I sat down with you and just told you like, I applaud you for taking this so seriously and then professionally. I think that earns a lot of respect for you. But it's like, let yourself have some fun too. Like I want you to remember making this movie because you had a really good time doing it.
Well, I got to give credit to the entire cast. Because after our talk, I was so deep into character. I just wasn't really going up talking to anybody, but God damn it, the rest of the cast wouldn't leave me alone. Everybody kept coming up to me and talking to me.
Yeah.
And everybody was so fun to work with and so nice. I couldn't help but carry a conversation with everybody, and I caught myself having fun for once on set. And I was having fun, but I wanted to, because the character Brogan in the Z Triangle was stranded on this island for 2 years. He just lost his girlfriend, who died on the island, and he just doesn't give a damn about these people. But something about these group of survivors, he felt like he had to bring in,
because they're so stupid, they need help.
he saw how much they needed his help, and he's like, Brogan's like, God damn it, fine, come with me.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make it convincing on set or on camera that I did not like these people, but slowly do like them.
Yeah.
But everybody was really cool. I remember Sam and I took Michaela out for lunch, and we ate at this really weird taco place. That was kind of fun. We all hung out.
Yeah. I remember I think I remember the exact moment that it finally clicked for you that you were gonna have fun. It's and it's on tape. It's a shot when we're in the backyard, and pretty much like the group is supposed to be really fighting with each other, and Kennan's holding this rock, and this was so dumb. You had to have like these special rocks to get you off the island. They're called like the stones of bonds of time or something like that. I don't remember, but something stupid. But like Kennan's holding them, and he's supposed to go and fight Eric's character. And I told like Kennan's like, okay, in anger, go and put the rock on the ground, and then go after Eric. So Kenan gets really angry, and he puts the rock down on the ground, and you're standing behind him, all looking all serious. But as Ken goes to walk towards Eric, the rock starts rolling down the hill, and Dylan just slowly starts grinning while everybody else is taking it so seriously, and this rock's
It's hilarious though. I mean, like, he worked so hard to get this damn stone, it just rolls down into the woods and gets lost.
Oh, I'm glad I have that.
Damn it!
Yeah, I'm glad I have that on focus. I can't find another shot where you break character because of something really funny. So I think that's where it really at least clicked for me.
So to bring it back to the beginning of Z Triangle, have you always been a fan of zombie films, and you always just kind of wanted to make one, or what was the inspiration for this film?
I'll tell you what happened. I'm actually really not. Ironically, I feel like zombie movies are really stupid. But no, and I wrote the first script, and in 2012 is when I wrote the script. In October of 2012 is when I first wrote it. And back in like 2011 and 2012, zombies were like the big thing. Like they were the
I think Walking Dead just came out.
Yeah, Walking Dead was going. A bunch of zombie video games were coming out. And it was always kind of the same thing. There was this apocalypse, these slow walking zombies that you should easily be able to outrun or killing everybody. And we kind of were trying to take advantage of what was popular at the time, because we had the intentions of film. Because we were 15, we were like 14, 15 years old. We were really stupid. We didn't know what we were doing, and we were gonna film it in the fall of 2012 or 2013, whatever. And ironically, I was gonna play Brogan, Dylan. Can you imagine how that would have gone? Because I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
Because I think Corey was gonna play Richard, Penrod was gonna play Kyle or something like that. I don't know, but I thought zombie movies were really stupid, so I wanted to make something new and original. It's like, okay, I just watched. Have you guys seen Castaway? Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
So I had just watched that movie, and I kind of like that concept of this guy's on a plane, he crashes in the ocean, he gets stranded on an island. But what if this island was in a constant apocalypse? No, not even apocalypse. It's just infested with zombies.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're killer monkeys or something like that instead they're zombies.
Right.
And it's just a never-ending thing. So that's kind of what I based off of. And I think it took me like 3 weeks to write the script. I remember I presented to Corey in band class. It was the first class of the day, and I went up to Corey and I gave him the script. And he comes back to me later at the end of the day and bear hugs me and says, "I love you." It's like, okay, I'm glad you like it. But we just kept having delay after delay because we realized how big of a challenge this was going to be. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, features aren't exactly that easy to do. So
yeah, was there ever a moment in time where you kind of felt like this was all like over your head, and you're like, dude, I don't know what to do.
I really did.
Man. Yeah, I bet.
We need to talk about that, man.
Yeah.
So day one of filming, one of the actors dropped out of the film.
Oh god, ooh, I hate when that
and
happens.
Sam and I was already halfway to set, and we lived like 2.5 hours away from where everything was being filmed. We stayed the night up in Des Moines from time to time, but a lot of the times too, we just drove there and back home.
Yeah.
And you call me or get a hold of me on Facebook and say, "Hey, did you leave yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm halfway there." And then you explained everything, and like you asked for my opinion. It's like, "Hey, I mean, this is day one. One of the lead actors dropped out. I don't think I can find anybody in time," and I was like devastated. I was like, this was like my big break, my first big film, and it's a feature film, which doesn't happen very often in Iowa. It happens, but not as often as these short films a lot of us do. And I'm like, like the law of attraction and stuff, I was, trying to be super optimistic. It's like, man, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we ended up figuring it out. And I think things that the script had to change quite a bit.
So did you just like cancel that character?
No. So what happened? Yeah, I was halfway to set, and I'm not gonna say the guy's name because he's not here and all that. So I was halfway to set, and I only lived like 30 minutes away from where we were filming on day one. And I get a call from this guy, and I'm gonna call him Bob just because I don't want to be saying this guy. So Bob calls me. And he says, "This is ridiculous." So he tells me that when he's under pressure, he gets sick or something like that. And I'm like, "Dude, you're an actor."
Was this Bob's first time acting?
No, not this. Well, I don't think he had much under his belt, but he was taking like acting classes with a lady that I know who's taught other actors I worked with. And he said, he just said when I have a lot of stuff, I'm under pressure and all that, I tend to not feel very well, and I can't make it set. So I like try to say, are you sure you're just not nervous or something like that? And he's like, "Nope, I am legit not feeling well." And he said, "I'm out." And
was that the last time you talked to Bob?
That was the last time I talked to him.
That's good.
And because like I asked him one more time. I asked him, "Okay, do you think you're gonna be able to make tomorrow?" Because we filmed the first 2 days back to back on a Saturday and Sunday. I asked him, "You think you'll be okay by tomorrow?" And he said, "Probably not, man." So I fired him. And I was so mad. Because I was in the route there, and this was a huge day. Like, I had all these cast crew coming, and we were going to be doing something that was going to take like 2 months.
This wasn't even like a 2-day shoot. This took all summer.
We filmed from July 1st until September 3rd. Like, we took some weekends off, but it was mostly on weekends that we filmed it. And I was just really nervous and all because this was so big. Nobody has most people who film in Iowa have never done something like this before, and everybody was depending on me, which I liked. I liked that people were depending on me for once, and because that just hadn't really happened in the last couple of years. So I was mad. I was kind of really freaking out because I just didn't know what I was going to do. Because I was going to the set 2 hours early to meet Eric and Bob, because I hadn't met him before aside from his audition and communication over emails. I was going to go 2 hours early to meet them before we filmed. And then that happened, so I'm like freaking out. And yeah, like I don't know why you were the first person I called or something.
Well, I think it's because I lived the furthest.
Well, yeah, maybe because I honestly don't know why. I don't know if it was because of that or if I just did kind of. It's like even then I could have just been like, "Oh, you've already left. Okay, cool. I'll see you in a little bit." But I told you what happened. I could have easily have lied to you and just said, "Oh yeah, everything's fine. I just wanted to make sure you were safe and all that."
Right.
So I think that was kind of a sign that you and I were gonna get along pretty well, because that's one of the things I like about you, Dylan, is that you and I shared like the same passion for we're just eager to go out and do something. We want to make good content. It's the same with you, Michael. We all just want to go and make something good. And like Dylan, your words were very assuring because you were telling me, and I don't know if you were just saying this because you desperately wanted to film and you didn't really want to cancel, but I remember, yeah, your words were very comforting and all that. It's like, okay. And then I kind of reminded myself of a quote that Robert Zemeckis said when he was making Back to the Future, because before Michael J. Fox was in that, Eric Stoltz was the lead actor, but then Eric wasn't working out, so he had to reshoot 5 weeks of work with Michael J. Fox. And he said, he kept telling himself, I can make this work. So that's what I would tell myself too, is like, okay, I can make this work. So what we did,
he took that quote from me, actually.
Yeah,
he was also really inspired by me.
Oh yeah. So
100% accurate.
The first scene was supposed to have there was, not including you, there was 5 leads. So Bob was supposed to be one of them, so I just took him out and rewrote the script a little bit, and I just focused the story mainly on Sam, Eric, and Kennan's characters.
Taking out Bob, was that was he a big character to begin with? So it wasn't too hard to.
Nope, and he got replaced eventually by Eli Fox, but I ultimately kind of wish I had just written the character of Lucas out of the script. Because he was kind of, if you watch the honest trailer that we had made for the film, it was kind of just
great, by the way.
Thanks. It was kind of just like his character was just kind of there. So I do kind of feel like I
and
should
Eli
just
did great and all. It's
yeah,
just,
I felt
think
bad
it was
for him,
the rushing of the making the changes kind of did affect things kind of in a weird way. But Eli stood. He came on set and he took direction well. Fantastic actor. He just he was kind of put in an icky situation. So there was a lot of pressure on him.
You and the others had like 2 months to prepare for the film. Eli had 2 days.
Yeah.
So he was kind of to this day I feel so bad for him because I know he must have been really uncomfortable doing it. So if I saw him again, I would really apologize to him just because I should have just written Lucas out, honestly.
So was there ever a point in time, whether it be in production or post-production, where you just were done, where you just like, I can't do it anymore? Or did you just like have the urge to fight on because like you had all these people counting on you?
I honestly don't really like giving up, so I'm going to try to fight through as much as I can. And I'll give you a couple examples. Is that when we finished Z Triangle, I had a big ego at that point because by the time we were finishing Don't Move, I thought I was just like, oh man, I just did this. I feel so good. I made all these new friends. We're going to do this and it's going to be awesome. The movie was supposed to come out on October 2019 for 2017.
For the Z Triangle.
Yeah, for the Z Triangle.
Don't Move.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't Move was going to come out 2 years before it was made. We can time travel. I'm sorry. Yeah, for the Z Triangle. And and we wrapped on September 3rd. So that gave me, and keep in mind, this film does have a few special effects stuff. So that gave me a little over a month to film, to edit it. And it's not like a thing where you can finish on the day of the showing because the theater has to have the movie by like 2 weeks prior. And it was just, oh my God.
So it was just like every day 10-hour shifts?
Yeah, pretty much. Because like, Michael, you could probably understand this a little bit more than Dylan can, but like when I was editing in Premiere, I did the whole movie all in one sequence. Yeah. I didn't make it like in separate project files.
With different scenes and
stuff
like that.
Yeah, it was all in one. So my Premiere did not like that.
Right.
And my computer did not like that. So it crashed a lot.
Up until recently, I've actually started doing that, breaking it out scene by scene instead of
now I do that, but I wish a little bit late now.
I feel you.
So that ultimately was just becoming a big toll on me. And I felt I really wanted to get it.
I can only imagine, like, you're like halfway through the movie and it's a feature film and then you have to start from square one again.
Because I remember
that's like me playing fucking video games, man, and then like it glitches and I'm like, I gotta do this all over again.
The hard part for me is like all of you were so excited to see it. Like you and especially were so pumped up. You were so happy. You were ready for people to see it and all that. And everybody else was. And then it happened. Like, it was a Tuesday morning, and I decided I was going to stay up until 1 a.m. to do some final editing work, and I would get up at 5 a.m. and do some more edits before I went to school. And the computer crashed again. Oh. And I was in a pretty bad spot because I just felt like I didn't want to let everybody down because everybody tried so hard. And, I got up at 5 and I tried to do some work and I just realized I can't do it. I can't. And I got very, very upset about that. It was very hard. And, like, I know a lot of people have made low budget films. Like there's a great video on YouTube about a guy who I don't remember what Austin McConnell or something like that.
Oh yes, I made a movie and it stunk.
Yeah,
that is an amazing video.
I love
dude.
that. Yeah,
I've watched it like 3 times.
Yes, yeah, and like he talked about like how he was having all those post production struggles, but he pushed on. And I think he talked about how I don't think he contemplated suicide, but like he had a really bad mental
Well, it's
spot
like where the movie is your life, man.
Yeah.
Especially with your case where you're like getting 4 hours of sleep and like tomorrow is just going to be another editing and the next day and the next day and the next day.
It was going to be a repeat cycle. And he said about how he decided to keep going when he knew he probably shouldn't have, and it really messed up with him mentally. And I know a lot of other people, like Caleb Harris went through the same thing when he was getting Missouri Trippin' done because his computer would crash after almost every edit he would do. So I kind of just made the almost impossible decision, like I have to cancel the showing. And by this point, we were like 2 weeks out. Tickets had been sold, and so I had to contact the theater, and everybody had to get a refund, which I know that the theater was not very happy about that. And I was terrified that the cast and crew were going to despise me and like refuse to work. I was legit terrified that you, Dylan, were gonna say, you should have thought this ahead of time. You weren't thinking this through. I'm done. I don't want to work with you anymore. Like, you really let me down. And so I remember I made like a long post on our Facebook chat about it, and I was like, I was crying so hard. I felt so bad. And then nobody said anything negative. Everybody was very supportive. And I almost wondered, like, as I know, like, I don't know if you were able to relate or something like that, but it almost seemed like you kind of understood where I was coming from. Like, your mental state is more important than anything else here.
I think, honestly, when I first got the news about this, I mean, I think I was, upset, because I was, of course, super excited. And I was like, what? Oh, no. My biggest fear was the Z Triangle never happening, like never coming out. And I think I talked to Eric about it too. And I was like, man, it's like, how bad is this? Like, do you think the Z Triangle is going to happen? And he's like, I think so, man. I think so. And then he explained it to me too, as like, it just was affecting you negative, mentally. And, I'm definitely one of those people that can say I've been there, done that when like, life, just kind of gets in the way, I was down in the slumps, so I was able to relate. Yeah. I got over it really quick. Yeah. To be quite honest with you, I was like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. I'm sure the movie will come out. Yeah. And I think, we had 2 premieres in 2 different locations for.
Don't skip too far ahead, because there is a little bit before that. Because when we postponed, I never had a thought in my head that like, oh, we'll never show the movie ever again. So we canceled in October. Well, sorry, we postponed in October. I took November through Christmas off, and I spent that time getting my filming stuff back, because I knew that I might lose my passion for filmmaking if I keep going. So I started resuming editing on it in February, but like only when I was available. Like not all night, like, hey, I've got 3 hours free, I'm going to edit the movie. So that really started to work, and worked on some more, and I finally finished it in May of 2018. And I got so excited. I was watching the export as like 99%, 100% encoding. What is that? What it says when it hits 100 encoding? Yeah, something like that. And then it finally finished. I was like, oh, it was like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone when he realizes his parents are gone. So I brought everybody over to my house. Like you and Sam weren't able to make it, but like I brought everybody to my house. We watched a rough cut of it, and then we got arranged to show, because the theater was originally supposed to show at, they were not going to bring us back. Right. Like that wasn't even worth the battle. So we got arranged to to show at Burlington, but Kenan was not going to be able to make it because he was going to be leaving for college a few days after our first showing. So I made a private showing in Winterset at the Winterset Theater for them and the families who couldn't come. So we had 2 showings, one in Winterset, and then the Burlington one was the week later. But Dylan, I'm not going to lie, I actually had a lot more fun at the Winterset one. When we got to Burlington, I loved when we went to the arcade and we like had fun on it, but the moment we got to the theater and the movie started showing, I got so uncomfortable because like nobody... At Winterset, people were laughing at the stuff that was supposed to be laughing. At Burlington, everybody was quiet. I was like, oh no. I was like, I don't know what you and your family were thinking during the time.
Majority of it was, my friends and family. There was a few faces I did not recognize. So I put posters up everywhere, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So there were people there that I didn't recognize, but I think the reason why people weren't really laughing at some of it was because my friends and family like know how serious I am about my acting and stuff. So I think they were just in awe and just super excited to finally watch something I was in. I think people were just sucking it in, you know?
Yeah, because like at Winter's, I think at Winter's, a lot of the people that went to that one kind of understood what we were going for more because they were more connected with the film because they lived more locally and all that. So like Kenan has a line in the movie where Eli Fox's character, Lucas, he saves him from an attack. And you're thinking like, how in the world did he get here? Like all that. So Ken just flat says, Lucas, how are you here? And the whole audience just burst out laughing and laughed for like several seconds or whatever. So they got the humor. That happens in Burlington. Everybody's like,
well, I think a lot of people at Winterset too were, friends and family of Kenan. And Kenan's just a funny dude. So I think everybody was there for Kenan's character, Kenan in general.
Richard, yeah.
And if anyone who's met Kenan, it's just, he's just a bundle of joy. He's just one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. Two different energies in the room for sure for Winterset and Burlington. But something I really wanted to talk about with the Z Triangle was, and what I admired the most about working with you on this film was how personal it meant to you too with your brother.
Yeah.
When you told me that, man, it's like I wanted, nothing but the best for this film, and it wasn't even about me anymore. I had my ego was high in the beginning process of it, but when you told me about it, man, I was like, I just want to make you and your family proud of this film.
For anybody who's not familiar yet, the earlier in the year that we filmed Z Triangle in February, my older brother Nathan passed away from complications of muscular dystrophy. And I remember one of the last conversations I had with him in the hospital. It was the last time he and I were ever alone when our parents weren't with us. And I was telling him about how I was going to try getting, at the time the Z Triangle was called Zombie Recon Team. And I was telling him how we were going to try to get it again. Because we've been trying to get it made for years leading up to that point. So I told him about that. He didn't really say much, like, obviously. And like he kind of just said like, that's cool. Yeah, you should, go and do it. So obviously I know he wasn't probably taking it as seriously as I was, but the fact that that was one of the last conversations we ever had was just him saying you should go and do it. That was a big motivation. But I didn't tell anybody until like the third day because I didn't want everybody to like have pity for me. But I think it was like it was the second day. It was the end of the second day that I told you guys. And I felt like the second day everybody was still trying to figure everybody out and was still trying to understand why we were doing this. So I was kind of like, okay, I need to tell them because I'm not going to be able to hold this in forever. So yeah, and everybody was very good about it. I never had one single person that was like being very full of themselves, like hey, do this or I'm gonna walk off set. And even when I postponed, nobody got mad at me. Like I remember Kenan was like one of the first people that responded to the chat, and he said like I understand, like you gotta take care of yourself. So that meant a lot to me. And I don't know, I almost feel like I almost didn't learn from my own lessons because like I think this is like in April of 2018. Like I felt like I was on top of the world at this point because, Z-Chung was so close to being done again. And I had plans, Michael, to, you don't know this, but I had plans to make 4 short films in the summer of 2018. One was called I Will Save You. It was about a group of storm chasers. The second one was the 48-Hour Film Festival. And then the other 2 were Z-Mind and Brothers. And I was very in over my head. I was like, I'm going to do this. I got to do this. I'm on a roll. I can't stop now. And I couldn't stop. Like, I don't know if that was actually a really mental thing or whatever. I legit couldn't stop. Nobody was telling me to stop. So, finally, it was one night in April. I had just gotten back home from college because I commute to school and all that back then. And a very good friend of mine at the time, she told me on the phone finally, because I asked her, I was like, what's wrong? Or something like that. And then she finally told me how she had felt during this whole process when I was doing Z Jungle, because I was gone all the time doing this. I was not really available much on the weekends. And now I was planning on doing all these films. And she was like in tears and just telling me how she felt, but she didn't want to say anything because I just looked so happy because I hadn't been that happy since my brother passed away. So she didn't really want to say anything, but it was like really affecting her. And that's when it finally hit me. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? So I like broke down in tears. Like it's when the moment it hit me is like, what am I doing? My ego's got the best of me. Like I gotta stop. And she just told me, it's like, you gotta stop. So I canceled I Will Save You. We did 48, which that itself could be its whole other podcast. That film was absolutely terrible. We're not going to talk about that today. And then Z Mine, which is the follow-up to Z Triangle and Brothers, was pushed back to this year, 2019. Well, we filmed them this year. They'll both show in early 2020. But that was like a huge stepping point. It's like, okay, I need to take a break. Like, not stop. I just need to clear off the road.
As filmmakers, you know, man, I think it's almost like a disease that we have that we want to continue to create, even though, like, we know we're at mental capacity of, like, how much we can take on because, you know, when the actors leave and the crew leaves and when we're editors and directors and whatnot, like, it doesn't end there. Yeah. We have this vicious cycle of every day trying to, you know, let the cast know that, hey, we're working on it. It's going to get done soon. Or then we just have a lot of people depend on us because, you know, they tried so hard for this and, you know, it's just a lot of pressure, man. But yeah, I think filmmaking is definitely like a disease almost, man, where you just want to keep going because it's so fun. And then when you're not doing it, it's like depressing almost, you know?
Yeah. And like, I'm glad, like, you know, Dylan, I almost feel like I know it was the right decision to do. But like the fact that we waited till this year to film Z Mine, like I remember I presented you the script, I think in spring of 2018. And I think it was the right choice that we waited. Because, like, you know, at that point...
For certain reasons, too, you know.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
There's certain things we were able to, you know, add to the film.
Yeah. But, like, you know, with Brothers and Z Mine, which, by the way, at this point, actually, when this podcast comes out, this will be the first way that I'm announcing Brothers to the world. So, currently, Brothers has not even been announced yet. So, this is how the world will find out. So, yeah, world, you just found out. But, like... And last year when I wrote the scripts, I hadn't met Michael before. I hadn't even heard his name until I saw
No Reply.
Yeah, No Reply was the first time I even heard of you. So, and like Michael helped us out on Z Mine, and he helped us out on Brothers. So like I wouldn't have ever gone to work with you and a bunch of like Ben Rowland, Scott Blow, all those guys. If we had done this last year, this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So,
things would have been a lot different.
Yeah, and who knows, you know, if we had, you might still have your very long hair and be in your Tyler prison costume. And
the hair's getting long again, man.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, you trying to get that Tyler look back?
No, man, I become a grizzly bear in the winter. I start getting hairy and I start getting fat.
Yeah.
My clothes aren't fitting again.
You know, if you ever get Eric on the podcast sometime, ask him about how making the short film Don't Move, when like he could tell you a bunch of stories. I'm not really gonna go into too much in depth because that's his film. Like I helped produce it and edit, but that was Eric's film. So if you ever get him on the show, I'll let him discuss that film. But he can give you some good ones too, because you and I both know how that went. That was an experience.
So I also want to just say that, like, man, it's been kind of crazy to see your journey through filmmaking. How, like, you know, I watch a Z Triangle and stuff like that, and then like all these projects that you've been working on, man, and then recently you let me see an early screening of the Z Mind.
Yeah,
I could just say, man, like it feels like a real movie, dude. Yeah, like the pacing in it, like the 3-act structure, like everything is so well done in that, man.
Thank you.
And it's like there's not a point in the movie where I felt it was slow, where like in the Z Triangle you can kind of feel like slow moments.
Yeah.
But with the Z Mind, truly, dude, like it feels like a movie.
Yeah.
And like I don't even think for me personally, like I felt that with my stuff, where like, you know, I've had problems following the 3rd-act structure, but I don't know, man, it's been cool to see your journey so far through your filmmaking, man.
Yeah, I love how you can go back and watch some of our films, like start with Z Triangle, and watch the production quality get better and better. Like Z Triangle, it's a little sketchy at times, and then like it goes up to Don't Move, Open Air, which was the 48 film. I said Don't Move, Z Mine, and then hopefully, Ben Matthews' film Intervention that we worked on, that will come out next year also. And then we ended with Brothers, which in my opinion, Brothers is the best production quality we have. Z Mine was kind of a special effects film, and Brothers is more of a cinematography film. So if you start with Z Triangle and then go to Brothers, you're going to notice a huge quality difference from all the people that I've had a chance to get connections with, like with Dylan and with Michael, and great actors. That is I always remember my professor's former. I can't remember what the name of the show was that he helped produce. I don't know. Sorry, Steve.
Okay.
I'll remember what it was called someday. Yeah, Steve Schott was my DMAC professor, and he always told me that connections is your biggest key to get into filmmaking. I thought at first, like, whatever, man. Like, oh, that's not how it works. But then, like, got to meet Dylan, got to meet Michael, Eric, Kenan, all these guys, and that's ultimately what gets your career going, how you make all this good quality content. And honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world.
I feel like that too, man. Where like when I started, I didn't think there was any filmmakers in Iowa, man. So like, you know, I feel the same way where I've got to meet everyone, and it's been crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That like now we're making films and we have
Yeah.
people we can count on. We got crew, and it's crazy, man. I never would have thought that a few years ago that we would be making films
No.
and I'd have people who are interested in the same
Yeah.
things as me.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way too, kind of growing
It
up, where you're
was.
like, dude, who the hell
Yeah.
does film?
Well, yeah, because like I'm from a small town, so I was
Right.
like the only actual video guy. And then when I first went to DMAC and I like met Simon Pendleton, Scott Demers, and I was like, oh my gosh, people actually like filming like me. I felt so cool about that. So, yeah, no, and then like it was like an honor to work with you on Saving Grace because I had never worked with you before until that time, and there was a whole new experience. Like you meet everything you do opens a new door. Like I work with you and I meet Rob, I meet Amanda. I get to work with this weirdo named Dylan Jaeger again.
Yeah.
And then was that
I'm
was
sorry.
that your first time working
Yeah.
with Media Adventures as well on Saving Grace?
I think so. Is that right, Dylan?
Yeah, dude.
I think so.
I'll say it
yeah.
and I'll say it again, man. I love those guys so much. Every time I do anything, I'm always like, yo, guys, you available?
Yeah, no, those guys are awesome. I really like them.
Well,
Yeah.
they're so
nice.
dedicated and professional.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like, they roll up in their car. Kevin has his hat on. Debbie's got her famous jacket on. They look so professional.
Well,
And they have
that-
like their briefcases and they
Yeah.
slam it on your table and pop them open.
Well, that's the
and
other thing that's dope, dude, is that, like, you don't have to tell them to do anything, man. Like, you don't be like, you know, like, they know where to set up. They know what to do. And you don't have to, like, direct them at all. They know what they're doing, and it's awesome, man.
Yeah, but yeah, so no, Z-Mine will come out on January 18th, 2020, and then Brothers, if accepted to the Motion Picture Awards, that will debut there on, I think it's on April 4th. So I think it's what they
It's
have
either
right now.
April or May. Either
I think
April 4th
it's
or
not.
May 4th.
It's not May. I know it's April for sure. But yeah, that's the current plans, and that will be my last long form short film that I'm producing and directing. And then we're gonna start a new chapter. And not like I'm not stopping making films, but like it'll be a new chapter, different kinds of films.
Do you think that, like, are you at a point where you're kind of tired of doing short films and you want to start striving to do more features?
Oh, heck no. No. Z Triangle will be the only feature I plan to work on.
For a while?
Yeah, people ask me, like, are you going to go out to Hollywood and stuff like that? I really don't want to. Like Dylan, I know you want to be a really big actor and all that, but, like, you know, you've told me, like, you're not sure if you'd move out to Hollywood because, like, you have a responsibility for Sam and your children.
Right.
So,
I know one day every dream of mine will come true. I'm going about it a safe way and a realistic way for me. I plan on hitting that one big job that really just launches me with like the A-list actors and working on those big Hollywood blockbuster films. I always joke about, like, once I get the money,
yeah.
I'm going to have a home in LA and a home in Iowa. My LA home will be where I stay when I work.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know, pocketing in all that money, I can stay home with my family in Iowa.
So for you, Aaron, do you find this just more as a hobby than trying to make it a career, and you just kind of enjoy doing filmmaking, or?
Let me put it this way. Like, I see, like, right now I'm a commercial producer in Des Moines at our TV station, KCCI, and that's like my day job. You know, I'm filming commercials and all that for clients, which it's good because it's a fun job. It can be easy to do. Like, there's days where obviously it's tricky, but it's a good work schedule. And, like, at the end of the day, I can go home and, like,
And
okay,
forget
right now
about
I'm not married and I don't have kids like
Right.
Dylan, so it's a little bit different for me. But, like, when I do get married and have kids, like, I can come home at the end of the day. I'm not, like, in Hollywood for 2 months filming a movie and I come back for a couple weeks and I'm gone again. I'm a family guy. I want to be around for that. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why I don't want to go out to Hollywood, because I want to be able to go home to my family one day. Kind of like how my parents would go to work and then they come home at the end of the day to their kids. And that's kind of... So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, the short films are something I always want to do. It's like I don't want to do a feature and Brothers is gonna be my last long form. So like, if you have a long form that you want to make, I'll help you on it. But
Right.
I'm not gonna produce and direct another long form because they are very stressful. Yes, and they take a lot of energy out. So I want to start making micro shorts.
Right.
Because like I've already talked to Dylan already about making a micro short. And I'm sure me and Michael will work on a lot more projects too because I want to keep working with you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brothers is like the end of an era, but there's a new era that's gonna be even better stuff. So yeah, go to work. You go do my job. I go to work, do that, and then on the weekends we do some micro shorts and we make them even awesome.
So like for me, like I right now, kind of filmmaking is my career. I quit my full-time job to do wedding videography.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that it's great to work for yourself, but also the job never ends.
Yeah, it's never
because
stopped.
I work from home, so like I'm constantly staring at that project file, be like, damn, I gotta get to work on that.
Yeah,
It never ends, man.
Yeah,
you
no,
always have the day shift.
At the
so.
time of this recording, I have a wedding next Saturday that I'm doing. It's gonna be like an all-day thing. So I'm like,
Oh well, congrats.
yeah. Well, here's the thing about weddings is that they're good money grabbers, but they're such a pain in the rear to do because you have no control over the environment.
Yeah, so I've done 30 this year, man. So I know all about it, bro. I know all about it.
Yeah, you gotta start upping your wages, man. If you're doing that much.
No, trust me, man. Next year I got a whole bunch of new equipment. I got the Sony A6300, man, and that camera is just it's beautiful.
But,
so
yeah, but like I guess one of the last couple of things I just gotta say is like like Dylan, I'm really glad that I've gotten the chance to meet you and work with you. And like honestly, the thing I feel bad about the most is that like with you and Michael, I only really meet up with you in person if it's something for film related. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad about that. Like I've come to visit you at your house, but it was mostly to do location scouting for Don't Move or Z-Mind. Mm-hmm. So, and like I haven't seen you, like right now it's November. I haven't seen you since we wrapped Z-Mind in June. That was the last time I saw you. So I kind of wish like, that we were able to just go out and hang out and go do something fun at night. And like same with you, Michael. It's like,
and I
don't see you guys very
just,
much.
it's just that you live kind of further away from us, but
No, you live far away from me.
that's true.
So, and there goes an ambulance.
Oh shit, I can
Oh
hear
boy,
that
the
too.
cops are here for Dylan.
Oh no.
But
I'll
yeah,
be back, guys.
but yeah, that's my my main thing is I wish I could actually hang out with you guys and do something that wasn't related to filming. So
Yeah,
that's
I
my
agree,
only regret.
man. That would be cool.
But
That would
I
be
am
cool.
if I hadn't had you on Z Triangle would probably not have done as well. And I know people have said a lot about Kenan being like the main focus and all that. Like honestly, you were like the big star of that film. It was like I think you honestly kind of steal the movie away when you come in and like we hear Brogan's story and your performance is so moving that people almost tend to focus more on Brogan now for the rest of the film, which I think if you're able to steal the audience's attention, you've done something really well.
Oh, well, thanks,
like,
man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the nice stuff you say about me. Like I try to make stuff original because Hollywood is struggling to make original content, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're making sequel. Okay, I can't talk about sequels, Dylan. I just made a sequel. We're calling it a follow-up. We're not
It's
calling
the
it a
best
sequel.
unnecessary sequel ever made, in my opinion.
But there's just not many original ideas, so I try to think of something unique. And then people will say, I don't know what you're going to do. Like Michael's saying on Z-Mind, how are you going to pull off this zombie attacking Dylan through a window? I just spoiled that. So yeah, there you just got an insight to the film. I'm Tom Holland all of a sudden. But yeah, just try to make something that, yes, it is possible and it won't kill you, but think of something that where somebody's going to say you're nuts for doing this or you can't pull this off. Because people told me about Z Triangle. Like when you came in for your audition, there was like four other people there, and only one other person besides me was there on the shoot. The other three didn't believe in it and they left.
really?
Yeah. So it's like, well, psych.
It happened,
like,
man, and I'm here now.
Yeah, it's like now you want to work
Now
with me.
I'm on a podcast.
So yeah, exactly.
The best
so,
podcast in Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
Indie Social.
Yeah, so
Welcome to the. Okay, I'm done.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So as we get close to wrapping up here, you know the spiel. We always ask our guests at the end of the episode to drop some motivation. I know you've kind of dropped some motivation throughout the way, but let's hear it, man. What would you tell a young Aaron?
Young Aaron, I tell him, don't worry about what other people are going to say. Don't worry about how people are going to judge. Make sure that you focus your attention on the people who've gotten to where you are. Like, don't forget about them, but still give it your all. Don't feel like people's words are going to put you down. Do something unique. Do something out of your comfort zone, because that's what I had to do. But if I hadn't, I wouldn't have all these new great friends. And just go do it. Have something unique and just always go hard and don't maybe slow down, but don't but don't quit. That's what I would say.
Amen.
Inspire somebody else.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's the episode. Thank you so much, Aaron, for stopping by.
thank
No
you,
problem.
Aaron.
Yeah, glad to be
It's been a
finally
good
on.
episode, man. I've always wanted to hear the origin story of everything, so it's been cool to
Yeah.
hear.
Should we pitch to the audience what's happening in the near future here?
Yeah, so Aaron is actually our last interview here for season 1. Season 2 is going to be big improvements. We want to drop some videos, and we want to do some more live streams, and we just really want to up the quality of everything we've been doing and give it more attention than what we have, just because we've been very busy individuals. But we're going to go hard next year, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We are going to have a Christmas special episode
Oh,
coming
yes,
up
that as
here.
well.
And and just one final episode as a big hoorah for season 1. Things are going to come back bigger and better. And I felt like there was something else I was going to say, man.
That's okay.
Season 2 is going to be big. A couple more episodes coming your way. Aaron's our last guest.
Forever.
No,
Forever.
no,
This show's
wait.
canceled.
We'll have season 2. We'll have season 2, and it's gonna be big, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be better.
Like and subscribe, people.
Like and
subscribe.
Yeah, like and
follow
subscribe,
and
man. Thank
do
you for all
whatever.
the support we've had so far. We're gonna continue to grow. Everybody, have a good night. Drive safe, and happy holidays.
Woo-woo.